Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour. Brought to you by The Sky Lounge and Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Ale Hop Brewery Tours, and Jesse Moffitt Entertainment. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment Conversations and has been recognized by the Sioux Falls Stage Awards with a special distinction for promoting the arts. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Welcome, everyone, to more great conversations with the creatives. Today, this show is Going to the Birds. John Gaskins is the Director of Entertainment for the Sioux Falls Canaries independent baseball team. Their home opener, next Friday the 20th. They play 50 home games, or as John says, they have 50 parties to plan, and he's calling on entertainers to help. Listen for the details coming up. He also happens to be a reporter for Dakota News Now. We'll talk about that as well. But first,
time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day and your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party.
all right, wherever you are, however you're listening, whatever you're drinking, probably dependent upon the time of day, lift that mug or glass or cup, tumbler, whatever, lift it high to collaboration. That word comes up in a great majority of our conversations here on the Dave Holly Hour. The arts and entertainment community in the Sioux Empire thrives on cooperation, not competition. And an example of that is coming up right after this message. The Weekend Eve Toast has been brought to you by Ale Hop Brewery Tours. People are talking about how great it is using Ale Hop. On their Facebook page, here's what Tina had to say. Super fun and convenient. You can go out, have a good time with friends, and not have to worry about driving home. Best of all, it supports our locals. That's right. No matter what brewery in Sioux Falls is your favorite, Ale Hop Brewery Tours lets you and your friends choose any or all, plus a distillery on that list, too. Book your private tours online at alehopbrewerytours.com. If you're already out and about on the weekend, hop on a public tour. For more info, call 605-777-2183. That's 605-777-2183. Ale Hop Brewery Tours, where micro fans meet micro brews. Honorable mention. All right, what made me smile, what made me giggle, what made me go forward, just go, wow, that's cool. Well, Friday night, we stopped into Papa Woody's Pizza at their new location down there on North Phillips. Great place, great food, by the way. Had a fun time with our very good friend Edward Ike, the artist Edward Ike, the artist. And we went there to hear Michael Sorensen. Performing with him was Pierce Hoffman, his new partner in dueling pianos called Dual Purpose. They are great together. Now, because of the space, Michael was still on his keyboards, and Pierce was playing guitar. Well, meanwhile, as we walk in, Michael and Pierce happen to be on a break, but we see Katie Reed, our good friend who's been on the show before, and she's in the crowd. And so we go say hi to her, and then Michael comes up to us and says he has invited Katie so she could get a feel for their music because he might need to collaborate with her sometime. So an impromptu song was joined by Katie Reed with the boys, and it was awesome. So again, thank you to collaboration. All right, coming up, Entertainment Director for the Sioux Falls Canaries, John Gaskins. It's ahead on the Dave Holly Hour.
Sure, they have darts, and you've heard me talk about how ruggedly handsome the trivia host is, but all caps fun never stops at the Sky Lounge and Tea. And fun is best had with your friends enjoying live entertainment, as in live and local. Yeah, the Sky Lounge believes in giving you the best bands, solo artists, and comedians from the area. The Neo Johnsons, Elizabeth Hunstead, Skylar Volks, as well as many others. And a great staff will make sure you enjoy your fun at the Sky Lounge in Tea, South Dakota.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XL Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or xlchiros.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XL Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
Support the Dave Holly Hour in a very easy way. Buy Dave a cup of coffee by clicking the cup in the lower left corner of www.davehollyhour.com.
Welcome back, everybody. I tell you what, it's always a pleasure to have repeat guests on this show. And I tell you, this time the show is going to the birds. But that's not the only thing we're going to talk about. John Gaskins, who is he's like chief cook, bottle wash, a whole bunch of stuff. With
Chief cook, bottle wash?
Yeah.
What's that from?
You've
What's
never
that
heard
reference to? I'm
Chief
sorry.
cook and bottle wash.
Okay.
That's something my old man
Chief
always
cook
said.
and bottle
Yeah,
wash.
chief cook and bottle wash.
Chief, cook.
Right, like they were doing everything.
And bottle wash. Okay.
Yeah, and so you've got kind of that distinction of being that with the Sioux Falls Canaries.
We've got the cook part now. We've got an in-house chef now. So,
excellent.
If the chicken fingers or burgers were a little stale and cold when they came out, it was my fault because I was the cook last year. I wasn't. No, I wasn't. But we have a new in-house chef and a lot of awesome food amongst many other things.
Wow.
Oh man, it's we're really excited. I mean, we are
can imagine.
stoked. The party is back. That's been trying to land on a slogan for the season, and potentially the party is back. It's a party out there. I try to tell the sales guys, don't call people trying to sell baseball tickets.
Right.
It's an experience. It's an event. It's a party. And I keep hearing now that it's our 30th season. First season was in 1993. I hear from old timers who were out there then. I'm not saying you're old, but you might have been a timer that was out there then. People speak fondly of how much fun and more carefree and more innocent it was. Pre-internet, pre-social media, pre-PC. I don't know, but it was pre a lot of things. Pre kind of lamer Canaries ownership. Not gonna give any specific years, but after the 90s, there's some peaks and valleys within the parties that were going on at the Birdcage, but it got off to a hot start. And then I was hanging out with some of the I just ran into watching the Kentucky Derby at Crave, the biggest TV screen downtown. I went to the Kentucky Derby on Saturday, and I just, by myself, sat right next to, only seat at the bar was next to a couple who was part of the ownership group in the 2000s when it was fun and a great party.
Yeah.
And Bill Murray was technically kind of a co-owner.
True.
Because he co-owned the St. Paul Saints who co-owned us.
Right.
And they were fondly remembering some of the parties and some of the fun and goofy, wacky promotions that were going on out there. And they were lamenting that it hasn't been the same in the last several years. And I said, you got to come back. I run into so many people who were there in the 90s who haven't been there in a while. I'm telling you, the party is back. That's what I'm here to talk about.
All right.
And my new Firefly Oasis theme song.
Okay, yes, because we are recording at the Firefly Oasis this time around because of some scheduling and so forth. So it's good to have you here at the Firefly, and you're having a Jasper Newton.
I am. I just went in Rome, When in Rome. Cheers.
They're plastic, but we clinked them anyway.
When I was smart enough to order a what is it called?
Jasper Newton.
Jasper Newton.
Yes.
I would love to hear the story of that again. I probably did, and I forgot.
It's just the fact that Jack Daniels' actual name is Jasper Newton Daniel.
I did not know that.
Oh.
That is weird, wacky, wild stuff. Is that not wild, Ed? Yes.
You've got your first.
You are correct, sir. Yes.
You've got two in already now.
I have. What was the first one?
Well, you did Johnny, and then you just did Ed, so you got
That's
two
right.
in.
I
And
guess
I know
that's
there's
two.
going to be
Two
more
for-
imitations that will be coming
We'll see.
forth. but-
Only on request.
Right.
But no, I got the Jack and Coke because I'm with you. And
Right.
I feel the camaraderie now that we're drinking
Yeah.
the same thing. It's going into our bloodstream. But also, you asked me if I wanted a tall or a short. And I'm like, well, he's drinking a tall. And if I was drinking a short, then you'd be able to tell me that yours was bigger than mine. I see mine is bigger than
I'm
yours.
keeping that one in the pocket.
Well, okay. Please do. Please do. Ooh, hey.
But it's really more like a triple.
Well,
And,
yeah,
there might
sure.
be some triples out at the Birdcage this year, hopefully for the home team.
Hoping so.
Yes.
Yeah.
But you always like to talk about the fact that, and the reason that you do get allowed to be on this podcast, despite it being sports, is the fact that, first of all, sports is
big sports.
sports is entertainment anymore.
Yeah.
And especially at the Birdcage, more so than probably any other of our local sports venues.
Yes.
Because you got a lot of things to fill in between innings, and you got a lot of games that you have to get people out there for with entertainment.
Not games, parties.
Parties. Well, see,
Parties.
last year we I believe, was it shows? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this year we're going to go with
party has a little more flair to it. So let's
Yes,
just
it
go.
does.
And it is a party. I mean, it's the state fair. It's the best night you'll have out all summer. It's whatever you want it to be. It's a carnival. It's a circus. But they are not just games. It is not just baseball. The people who like the baseball, they're coming there anyway. And does it sound mildly absurd to try to convince people who might not like baseball to come out to a baseball game? Maybe, until you go there, and then you'll see, and then you'll understand. It's a freaking party, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The food's going to be a lot better. I mean, that's almost at the top of the list. We haven't. Yeah, well, I mean, frankly, low bar, but that's why we took over our concessions and hired a new in-house chef.
Because that had been the city's, correct?
Well, not
Or was it a
necessarily.
share?
I don't want to mention who it was. I don't want to
Okay.
throw anybody under the bus, but it was a third-party vendor who also did vending and concessioning at other places and another big venue, and we weren't necessarily at the top of their priority list. So we just took it over ourselves. These new owners, man, Dave, they took over just over a year ago. If you haven't read it in the Argus, there's this piece on KSFY and KDLT tonight that we're recording. One of the first things they did was buy a $500,000 video board so there can be a lot more entertainment out there so the fans could actually see it.
True.
That's nice.
And not have to decide, is that a 5 or is that an 8 up in there?
We had so many awesome 80s movies nights last year and other movie-themed nights of Spaceballs and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, Big Lebowski, Space Jam. And it was fun to cut some of the funniest moments from those movies, play them during the games. But that was one of the first things they did. And then this year, the big thing is the new artificial turf, which really, again, this is a sports podcast. We're not here to talk baseball. It really only impacts the players, although it really looks cool.
Great from the pictures.
It really
I've
looks
seen.
cool. But give me a shot clock. Give me 30 seconds. I'll do a one sports part. If you're listening to the podcast, you can advance 30 seconds. The reason why the artificial turf helps is because we had the worst playing surface in the league. It was a recruiting tool against our players. It was the weather beats it down. We just didn't really have the budget or the grounds crew to constantly maintain a field in a place that has really crappy weather. And it has a lot of other baseball games, University of Sioux Falls, some amateur baseball games, high school state tournaments. The field gets, especially the infield, gets beat up. Well, no infielder, am I at 30 seconds yet? No infielder wants to have a ball bounce and break their nose or their jaw. That and skip right past them. They commit an error. And a lot of these guys are still trying to move up in the baseball world. This hurts their fielding percentage. Anyway, it was just bad news. And it was part of the reason why we've struggled to win. Got rid of that. Artificial turf means the surface is nice and even all the time. Don't have to maintain it. You can hold concerts on it, all that kind of fun stuff. And so that was
Diamond Club seats, I see, have some padding to them.
Yes, they do. We have we have padded seats behind home plate. Of course, those are premium seats.
Right.
And that's an enjoyable experience. And it's these things that are both, both aesthetic, but also real, genuine, that these owners are showing. We want the Birdcage to be the place to party for years, a few years. And then we want the Canaries to be the party, probably downtown, within a few years. Bringing people back. The party is back. They've got, they've upgraded some things in the clubhouse for the players. We got an office renovation. And for any of you going out to a ball game, again, it's not just the baseball. Your 4, 5, 8-year-old kid, they might not love baseball, but I mean, get them out of the house. You can't take them to a bar or a restaurant. Those places are too crowded on a Friday or Saturday night for them to run around and roam. We've got a playground. We've got bounce houses for the kids and for the adults. If you get diverted, we have 2 bars. We have an inflatable fast pitch speed machine, so you can test your arm strength with a radar gun.
Top out at 42. That's all I've ever been able to
That's
throw.
about me too,
42,
yeah.
man.
I mean, it is a blast. And then, yes, I'm here also to talk. This is an arts and entertainment podcast, and we've got some entertainment up our sleeve as well.
Yeah,
So
but
it's just
before
really
we get
exciting.
to that, let's just continue on the baseball portion of it.
Okay, if you insist.
I do, because
the one thing
my listeners do know that I love baseball.
They
and,
do.
And that is, if I'm going to have anybody on in the sports world, it's going to be baseball.
It's just so relaxing,
Yeah.
Dave. You go outside in the summertime, whether you like the sport or not. It's not my favorite. It never was. I went to Canaries games, frankly, for just the enjoyment of the fresh air, a couple cold beers. That's all I needed. It's a very cathartic and therapeutic experience.
But a couple of things that will lead us into the entertainment portion. Then, first of all, if I'm not mistaken, on Friday night the 20th, you had mentioned 1993. Roll back the prices to 1993, correct?
That'll be actually Saturday, May 21st.
Saturday, 21st.
Second game.
Okay.
Yep, Saturday, May 21st. So $5 tickets. They're online. So go to sfcanaries.com or follow us on social media. Get your online $5 tickets. And we'll have a $3
food deal.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're rolling back the prices. That's the kind of things that people really get excited about. But we're going to have throwback jerseys. And we'll do a few special things regarding the 1993 Canaries, but frankly, who remembers them? No one remembers them. That's just the first year that we brought the party to Sioux Falls.
True.
So we're going to be doing some partying things. And again, I'm connecting myself with fans, management from those early years, and trying to get some ideas of what they did for fun and try to bring some of that back. And we're just going to celebrate not just 1993, but it's going to be an I Love the 90s type of night. And we're going to pretty much do that every Thursday. It'll be this Saturday, May 21st, but then every Thursday game we have, it's a Throwing It Back Thursday. So not just the prices, not just our powder blue throwback jerseys, and not just 90s pop culture everywhere around you gloriously, but also throwing it back. It's Thirsty Thursday, and we'll have some beer specials as well.
Yeah,
so the party is coming back to the
I
birdcage.
love to hear that. And Friday nights will all include fireworks again?
Of course. Yep.
Oh. See, that you talked about, taking your kids out there, giving them something to be entertained by, whether they like baseball or not,
Yes.
and they're still going to have the opportunity to be taking a look at a great, spectacular fireworks show at the end of the game on Friday nights, because those are always just phenomenal.
It's all-star fireworks. Best in the Midwest, man. We're really lucky. We are really lucky to have one of the best fireworks displays, probably in the country.
Yeah, local.
I mean, look, I'm not going to say I go around the country and judge fireworks shows, but from what I've seen in other places, when I go see fireworks shows outside of South Dakota, pretty damn good. And it's like a 4th of July fireworks show every Friday. I mean, they go all out. So
No doubt about that.
another thing. Okay. Go. You go ahead.
No, before we get into
Yes.
the entertainment,
Yeah.
I have to hear it. You baited me with it.
You don't want to tease you any longer?
No, Firefly Oasis theme song. I have to hear
Don't you
it.
want to wait till the end of the interview and just kind of really keep people?
Okay, all right, let's do that.
keep
Firefly Oasis
people- the
at
Firefly
the
Oasis
end
theme.
of the interview.
And then next time I come on your show, the 17th time I appear, then we'll have a Dave Holly hour theme song. But
Okay,
Firefly Oasis just has
Oasis,
more of a rhythm
I
to
love
it. I can't
I
wait.
like the idea of it, so I'm waiting
All right.
patiently
Okay.
now, waiting patiently.
Yeah.
So okay,
Stick
What do we-
around
What do we have
for the
for
Firefly
the
Oasis
parties?
theme song.
How many parties we're gonna have?
Oh, we're going to have
40?
50 parties.
50.
Yeah, we got 100 games, 50 of them are at home, 50 parties. And, the first of all, since we're recording this the week of May, what is today, 9th through the 13th?
9th.
Yeah, so we get started next week. First weekend, we're really just going to kind of fire out of the gate with not a whole lot of bells and whistles other than you get to see all the cool stuff I've told you about at the park. Opening night, baseball is back night, but before I get into some of the specific themes and promotions and wacky theme nights that we're going to have, one of the best musicians in Sioux Falls, Elizabeth Hunstad. She will be playing in the beer garden Friday night. So the party's not going to start at 7:05 with first pitch. It's going to start at 6 o'clock in that beer garden just off to your left after you go into the entrance. Get some beer. Enjoy some of our brand new Chef Jess food and listen to the tunes, mostly cover tunes.
I'm just curious. Hunstad. Are you two going to duke it out?
With what?
Well, you have now taken the lead.
I was going to
in the number of Dave Holly episodes you've been on.
I thought she was going after my man, so I thought that's what you meant.
No. But she's, I hate to break it to her because I did invite her for this episode.
Oh, you did?
I've been trying to keep it pretty equal.
All right.
But she had a busy weekend with gigs and.
Thanks,
catching
Elizabeth.
up and so forth. So
thank you.
Elizabeth couldn't make it, but John Gaskins now has the lead for the most booked guest.
Yes, but Elizabeth Hunstad is like...
She is amazing.
She's like Rich Strike. She's like Rich Strike, the inside, 80-1 odds, going to catch me at the end, photo finish. No, I mean, she's so awesome. And to be honest with you, in lining up some other local musicians that we're going to be having out at the beer gardens, most Friday and Saturday nights. The goal is all. I'm working on it, but we got Elizabeth several times this year already. And in booking some other ones, I'm trying to get I'm asking them, who else should I book? I mean, who are, I hate to say this, Dave, but I'm a family guy who lives in Lenox. I'm not out in the town every night like you are, so I don't go to the bars as often. But I'm becoming more familiar with the music scene. Obviously, there's some musicians listening right now. If you've got if you're a solo, even if you're a solo act like Elizabeth, she brings out her keyboard. We're good. We're gold. Amy Ellsworth is another one.
Awesome.
And actually, in asking Amy to list who are some of the other musicians who would be a good fit to start the party an hour before these games at the Birdcage on Friday and Saturday nights, Elizabeth gave me a few names, and then. Toward the end of it, she said, "I can't believe you haven't mentioned Elizabeth Hunstad yet." And I said, "I'm a step ahead of you there.
Yep,
we already got it." So
that.
Anyway, I'd say if you're going for the wow factor for the parties that we're going to have this year, of course, we always save our best stuff for Friday and Saturday nights when most of you are going to be out there. And we're anchored by 4 bobblehead nights this year. Everybody loves a bobblehead, right?
Yes, you've already had yours.
I didn't.
Well,
have mine.
No.
Harry Canary had his.
There's one in the Firefly Oasis. In fact, there's 2.
Oh, what?
There's one right here by the window.
How about that?
Yeah, right up there. You're up in the weeds.
Hey, how about that? Bobblehead.
And one down in the Three Seasons.
Firefly Oasis. Double the bobblehead. Everybody loves bobbleheads. And so, we're going to give the fans what they want. We're going to do 4 of them. Of course, we're in South Dakota. You do 4 of anything. You have to do a Mount Rushmore. It is the summer of our Mount Rushmore of sitcom bobbleheads. And so this is a fun game for you and the listener right now. Dave gets to play the listener. Okay, so Mount Rushmore of sitcom bobbleheads. I bet Dave Holly, and of course this is according to the Sioux Falls Canaries. So pretty good source. I mean, I think we've got pretty good taste, but it's subjective. So,
but see, throwing my age into this equation, my Mount Rushmore would be different.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
Well, yes, I could. I'll give you the hint. Nothing is going to be pre-90s. This is all within the last 3 decades. I'm sorry. If I were to go...
Seinfeld.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
But not just Seinfeld. It is the 25th anniversary of Festivus.
My goodness.
Of when George Costanza's father, Frank, created Festivus for the rest of us because Christmas got too commercialized. And so it's a Frank Costanza Festivus bobblehead.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, he's got
Frank.
Frank has the pole.
Yes.
I can't forget what he called the pole.
I
It's an
can't
aluminum
remember
pole.
either, yeah.
But anyway, we'll have feats of strength, and we're going to air our grievances. I've had a lot of problems with you people. So that's one. You're 1 for 1 on the Mount Rushmore of Canaries sitcom bobblehead nights.
Everything since the 90s.
Yeah.
90s and forward.
Yeah.
Friends.
Yep. 2 for 2. Now, can you guess which of the 6 Friends characters we're going to have a bobblehead for?
Oh.
Please not Ross.
No, hell no.
Oh.
God, great minds think alike.
Yeah, please
Not him. No, he was.
Then it's got to be
He was
Joey.
the worst, huh?
Joey.
God, you are really good. Yes, it's a Joey. How you doing? Bobblehead.
Yeah,
Simple
because I
as
figured
that.
the how you doing.
Yeah. All right, you're
How
2 for
you
2.
doing?
2 for 2 on
That's
the.
probably about as far as I'm going to get.
Oh no, I think you can do pretty well. Just keep thinking. Okay, I'll give you a clue. The other two are they're 21st century. The other two are 21st century. Popular long-running sitcoms that might be even cult favorites. I'd say one was a ratings getter, but they're both cult favorites.
Playing Stump the Band now, huh?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm at a loss.
We are going to have The Office.
Oh.
We're going to have The Office.
Just did a whole trivia on that.
Did you
week,
really?
Week or two back, yeah.
The Prison Mike bobblehead.
Yeah.
If you saw the episode of The Office, I'm not a big Office watcher, I'll be honest with you. But I understand it's kind of a big deal. And it's got some funny concepts. And
Arrested Development.
No, you're close. But Prison Mike, in The Office, once they hired an employee. You didn't ask me to explain it, but I am. It's like
I'm shocked.
Dave wants to move on. They hired an employee. This is gonna be so worth it in 30 seconds. They hired an employee who had been in prison for a while, and then described what you got to do in prison all day, like lift weights and do art projects and hang out, and they're like, wow, that sounds like more fun than a typical day at the office. And so that convinced Michael Scott, of course, the boob,
right.
Steve Carell character, the boss, to try to make the office more like a prison schedule, and then he turned himself into like a prison gangster.
Yeah.
So anyway, there you go.
All right.
That was worth it. Okay, so we got 3. There's one more. I don't know if you're going to get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Here's a clue. Surprisingly, that I don't think this is going to help you. It's the longest running sitcom of all time. That's not The Simpsons. That's not a cartoon.
Not a cartoon. Then.
Yeah. It's funny. It's irreverent.
Nope.
It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Yep.
Yeah. Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito has a. This is going to be also.
Is it going to be the Danny DeVito character?
Well, yes, it's Danny DeVito.
Okay.
But it is WWE night as well. Not our second annual WWE night, but it's also one of our Mount Rushmore of sitcom bobbleheads. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Danny DeVito, Frank the Trash Man. Just YouTube Frank the Trash Man. You'll love it. You might hate it. That's kind of how It's Always Sunny rolls.
Yep.
And
I was just thinking, if it's a Danny DeVito bobblehead, is it only miniature size then?
Exactly. Hey,
hang on.
Hey, oh,
Boom, there we go.
Beautiful. So that's 4 out of 50. We only have 46 to go, Dave.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No, I mean, we've got a Talladega night, so we're going to play off the movie Talladega Nights, try to bring hot Harley Nights to the
number
ballpark.
ones. No, that'd be 11.
Thank you. We're gonna have a second annual Jimmy Buffett Parrot Head night. We actually have the Parrot Head Club of Sioux Falls coming out. Too Drunk to Fish.
Yeah.
Big Scott Allen and his partner are gonna play Wednesday, July 20th. We're gonna have the second annual Dad Bod Olympics.
That was a hoot last year.
Such a sensation. It made it all the way to the critically acclaimed Inside Edition with Deborah Norville.
Did it really?
It did. I don't know how.
Oh,
I
wow.
don't know how they found out about it, but the Argus did a story before the game. They found it captivating. Right. It was. We got good video of it. Dad Bod Olympics. It's 4 guys with dad bods. Dad Bod Olympics is doing push-ups and chugging beer, and then running from third base to first base in the outfield. You got to drink a beer chug a whole beer at second base. Wet T-shirt contest, bad dad joke contest. Maybe this year we'll throw in a belching contest. Whatever. It's the second annual Dad Bod Olympics.
At one time, I was able to belch 7 syllables.
Wow, that is
revolutionary.
Amazing. Can you give that a try tonight on the cue?
Revolutionary.
That's pretty good spot.
Yeah.
Revolutionary. Okay, that's Sunday, June 26th. That's also Beer, Bacon, and Barbecue Day. So, I mean, that name sells itself. A lot of specials on beer and bacon and barbecue. Put it all together. So Dad bought Olympics. But yeah, I mean, we had such a fun time with that. Vanessa and Thor. We cracked up Vanessa and Thor on the morning show the next morning. And so anyway, Inside Edition caught hold of it and showed it.
Excellent.
So, well, we got to bring that back as well. I mentioned WWE Night, hosted by, of course, Ric Flair. Ric Flair's going to be the opening night host as well, because WWE Night last year might have been our best night. Not our most well-attended night. But Dave, this is again why these are parties, not baseball games, is before the game, the host of the show always comes out, does a little thing, and one word from Ric Flair made WWE Night our best night of the year. Woo! All Ric Flair had to do was
woo.
yell woo. Crowd yells back woo. Randy, our PA announcer, plays the woo sound drop over and over again. It's amazing how easily entertained people are.
True.
But it just caught on like a virus. And I tell you, we thought it would get old by the second inning. There must have been 500 woos that night, and people were walking out after the game.
Still wooing. We had a woo off up in one of the suites. Office party was there. And we had like some jacked, like muscular, jock-looking, not middle-aged guy, pretty young guy, about my age. He was all excited. They had had a few drinks. I know your age.
And it's younger than you think, or older than you think. How old do you think I am? It doesn't matter.
Well, it's like 42,
something like that. Yeah. And so he was all. I said, who wants to do a woo off in here? We're gonna do a woo off, just 30 seconds. Who can do the best woos? And of course, the guy you thought would want to do it wants to do it, but then mild mannered, soft spoken.
Yeah, watch out for those.
I would consider her near retirement age lady. Said, I'll do it. And it was a woo-off for the ages. Of course, there was the style of the jacked-up guy who just yelled with full throttle testosterone woo at the top of his lungs. But then the substance came in, from the steak part of this, not the sizzle. The steak came in from the nice old lady who just cackled woo like a goose, just woo. Place went nuts. WWE Night, so we're gonna have another one of those this year as well. I mean, so hopefully I'm painting the picture of kind of
you got a lot going on.
Doing.
You got a lot of
doing
different
music, we're doing
music
characters, and I don't know if you're gonna get to this, but we want you. This is partly why I'm on your podcast. Of course, I'm not here to do a sports podcast and talk about baseball. We want to take this to another level. Mm-hmm. We want usher-tainers. If you are an actor in this community and you're looking for a theater to perform in, we got at least 500 people on most nights, and many of them at least 1,000 Fridays and Saturdays, 2, 3, sometimes 4,000. Pretty big audience. Good chance for you, not just in between innings when we've got these 90 seconds to do a bit,
right?
But all game long.
Be a character.
You want to come to you want to create your own character. Come to the ballpark in a costume and be that character. Entertain. Hopefully not scare. Just entertain. Fans of all ages. I wouldn't even say be our guest. Be our employee. I mean, we're willing to hire people to do this. And this is taking a cue from the St. Paul Saints. You go to their games, their parties, downtown St. Paul, and they have usher-tainers. And every night they've got a few of them. And a perfect example is Paula Bunyan. It's a female Paul Bunyan. She's got the red and black flannel lumberjack shirt going on. She carries around the axe. She's wearing pigtails, and she does her whole Minnesota nice, don't you know thing. She just goes up and starts talking to people. And we saw her do this because we got to host some St. Paul Saints games at the Birdcage during the pandemic 2 years ago. It was the pandemic. Don't need to explain. They were here. They brought some of their entertainment here. They showed us how to do it. And Paula Bunyan she just got people laughing. So if you're in a good place to, I wouldn't say practice. I would just say perform your craft. Get a hold of me. Let me know. We want more usher-tainers to join in on the party. This is partly what we're
I'm
creating.
thinking on that too, and I'm going to help you.
Well,
out
you
with that
did
one.
it. You did it a couple times last year, and I appreciate that.
Not a problem.
Yeah.
And speaking of, is there? Oh my. Yeah.
We'll have to talk about that.
Okay, we'll have to talk about that again.
It's
All right,
complicated.
sounds good. Oh,
Just like
again,
last year.
Oh my. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll
Getting
talk
a little.
about that. Yeah.
Anywho,
Anywho, I will find a way to do something else
Yeah.
then. But in the meantime, obviously we've pretty well covered this.
I mean, you finished your Jack, which is a good sign or a bad. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to have to pour another one. So we're going
Thank
to take
God.
a commercial break.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about your other gig.
Okay.
All right?
That sounds fine.
All right.
And we're going to hear the debut of the
Yes.
Firefly
At the
Oasis
end, the Firefly
theme
Oasis
song.
theme song.
All right.
That's all coming up next on the Dave Holly Hour.
Hi, my name is Jesse Moffitt, and I'm not a piano player. I'm a comic magician and hypnotist. I've been performing for over 20 years. I've performed at many events, corporate events, holiday parties, post-prom parties, graduation parties, state and county fairs, festivals, just about anything you can imagine. The funniest thing about the Magic Act is that I use a ton of audience participation, and that can make things really interesting. Put it down the front of your shirt. Stop being so my hand won't follow it. The best thing about the hypnosis show is that the volunteers and their imaginations really make it a blast.
Holy crap, dude, did you see what you just did? You could do that possibly to girls.
For booking information, go to Jesse Moffitt Entertainment on Facebook. That's JESSEMOFFITT. Or call 605-929-0964.
It's another Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment conversation on the Dave Holly Hour.
Welcome back, everybody. Certainly hope you enjoyed the first section that we were talking with John Gaskins. Now we move over into the next section, kind of like box seats and so forth.
and
We
if you're
try
still-
to tie it in, make things segue.
And if you're still here, thanks for sticking around. Really appreciate it. It's
A couple of more
fortuitous of
things
you.
concerning the Canaries before we move on and talk about you being back in the media.
Don't pull my arm to talk more Canaries,
yeah.
Dave.
All right. So I know that one of the things that you wanted to get going, and I am going to be a part of this because I kind of gave you the idea last year.
Yeah.
Karaoke.
I was going to say, this is something that you wanted to get going as much as anybody. So, yeah, I hope you are a part of this night. But, pretty simple concept. We're just going to give the mic to 4 or 5, hopefully supremely talented, and at the very least, wildly entertaining singers to do, we have 90 seconds or so between innings. So
Right.
it'd be a verse and a chorus of a song of their choice. And as you and I were discussing and organizing this, hopefully this is something where maybe Dave and I, maybe more than Dave and I, will be scouting, maybe even underground at a local bar that does karaoke near you at some time this summer in Sioux Falls, and maybe you just might get discovered and be one of our performers at karaoke.
Yeah, and then instead of karaokeing for dozens of people at a bar, maybe 100,
Yeah.
you can go out and do it in front of thousands.
You're at the ballpark. So funny story about this, because it is an original to Sioux Falls idea, and I love the name, and Dave came up with karaoke. But again, the St. Paul Saints, go to their games in downtown St. Paul. I would recommend anybody who's thinking about going to a Twins game this summer, save a little dough, just go to a St. Paul Saints game. They're more fun. They just are. And just stay in Sioux Falls and go to a Canaries game before you go to. But if you're going to the Twin Cities, go to a Saints game. One of their entertainers about once a game, and I was lucky enough when I went there last September. You remember that guy on American Idol who did the Ricky Martin,
not La Bamba, but
Fung, the shake your rump shaker thing.
I know what you're talking about.
The shake your bonbon. Yeah, I think his name was William Hung, and he was so awful. He was so awful.
That's right.
He became a sensation. He toured the
Yep.
country and sang that song because it was so legendarily awful. Well, they don't have William Hung, but they have some guy who looks and sings like him. An actual William Hung, I think, was an American, like a United States person. The Saints have, a native of one of the Asian countries. I think Japan. Same thing. He does terrible William Hung karaoke with his thick Asian accent, and I don't think he understands. It's again, it's so bad, it's great. I don't think he's ever understood why he's the main event, and this is not necessarily what I'm asking for on Karaoke Night. But again, painting the picture of the party here at the Birdcage, we're gonna have a lot of fun doing this. And frankly, it's time to turn over the mic to people who can actually sing. I try on any given night. We do Sweet Caroline. We do Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
You already are doing it.
But we want some studs. And so, frankly, we haven't really, Dave and I, of course, are the committee here. We haven't determined where we're going to go and who we're going to scout. No. But if you are interested, you're listening to this podcast, you are interested, or you know a dynamite, talented singer in your family or friend group, thinks they want to shine at the Birdcage. This will not only be performances, but a competition. Like whoever of the 4 or 5 entrants has the best performance will get a second song to perform toward the end of the night, of course. So, and the fans will decide that.
All right.
So
Looking
get a hold of me.
to that. Yeah. All right. Now, the other thing you wanted to talk about out at the Birdcage.
Let's plow through this.
Before we go through is... you wanted to talk
My other
about
job is boring, Dave.
Oh, no, it's not. But new food. New cook.
All right.
Let's hear it. Do we have any fun stuff?
Well, yeah, of course.
Or is it just a new microwave for the hot dogs?
No.
Okay.
No, just a new roller grill for the hot dogs.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Love
Okay. Apple Pop Rocks hot dogs with beer cheese.
Ooh.
You ever had Apple Pop Rocks? You ever had Pop Rocks?
Yeah, I remember Pop Rocks.
The way they burst in your mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is going to be just a delicious wiener that's going to burst in your mouth.
Hey, another rim shot.
Glazed donut with tomato jam, bacon cheeseburger.
Ooh.
Sundays are going to be brunch at the Birdcage. Come on an empty stomach. Don't go to a brunch
spend $21.
buffet. Yeah, don't do that. Come to the Birdcage. We're going to have Bloody Marys, and of course the Bloody Marys are going to have a meal on the straw: chicken strips, pork belly, chips, pickles. This is going to be done with a flair, like a restaurant, of course. Breakfast burgers on Sundays, chicken strips with sausage gravy. So brunch at the Birdcage.
Love it.
On Sundays with French Chef Jess. We're gonna have a street corn section of the Birdcage. That's catching on as well. You know what street corn is, don't you? So we're gonna be selling street corn, grilled corn on the cob. Butter, salt, pepper, mayonnaise, Parmesan hot sauce, chili lime, all on one. Just kidding. You can have your choice of flavors on your street corn, and we might be playing games with it between innings called Me So Corny. That's a Chef Jess idea, which is why she fits into the Canaries so well. But we're going to have a shredded chicken Thanksgiving sandwich, stuffing, craisins, cream of chicken. We're gonna have real pulled pork sandwiches out there.
Yeah.
Slow roasted, baby. House made coleslaw, rodeo burgers, pulled pork, crispy onions, fried Oreos, because why not? We'll do walking tacos. Again, it's a party. It's a state fair.
Right.
Got to have the stuff that's unnecessarily
So what you're
fried.
telling me is I really need to load up on my insulin before coming out.
Absolutely. Well, the thing is, we're not going to have all of these things every night.
Right.
Sunday, the breakfast stuff will be on Sundays.
If you're a foodie, you got to go out there several times just for that.
Absolutely.
What's the special today?
Pizza box nachos. So basically giant walking tacos that'll serve for people. And then Chef Jess, our chef, she's been with the Barrel House. She had her own food truck for a while, and it was specifically cheesecake waffle cones. So we're going to have a cheesecake waffle bowl, strawberry crunch, or lemon blueberry. Got to have the lemon blueberry because, of course, our team colors are blue and yellow. And we'll have funnel cake fries and cold brew coffee. I mean, it's a little toasty out there to have coffee, but we know how much
people still want that jolt.
Yeah, so vanilla, raspberry, hazelnut, mocha, we got you covered. And so we're going to have a lot of fun with food. We're going to have some specific food days and nights. That beer, bacon, barbecue day, Sunday, June 26th, coinciding with the Dad Bod Olympics. Will be a big food day out there. So sfcanaries.com, we got our promotions and our foods that will pop up, but it's just, and part of it is because people deserve it. Again, our gates will open at 6. Come eat. If it's a Friday or Saturday night, go to the beer garden and enjoy our live local musicians who will mainly play cover tunes and love and enjoy. Eat your dinner, eat your supper there. Again, Sundays come on an empty stomach. Eat your brunch there. Gates open at noon. Games at 1:05. You can play catch in the outfield with your kids, and you can run the bases after the game. But not only should the food be better and cooler, but it should also be fun. So we're gonna have a lot of food. So a lot of stuff we're gonna be doing during the games too. At least once a game, we'll have some sort of food eating contest with all this stuff.
Oh, really?
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh, you feeling good about that? You feeling lucky, punk?
Well, no. 25 years ago, I could have kicked ass on anybody. But,
yeah.
Because I used to have the famous Dave's ribs out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
how I never got into that one, I don't know.
Yeah.
I love that. But,
yeah.
All right.
So
now,
there you go.
All right.
And that's
so
the tip of the iceberg.
Good stuff. Lots of fun coming at the parties.
Yeah. I mean,
out at the birdcage.
You got a kid who's looking to celebrate their birthday this summer, just bring their group of friends out. We got party decks. We got suites. If you're a company looking to have your corporate outing, I just can't imagine a better place. What, a bar or a restaurant? Some little room with no windows in the middle of summer to have a corporate party? Come on, live a little. Come out to the birdcage.
If only maybe I could have a half birthday party.
You can have whatever you want.
All right.
Have whatever you want.
All right. Now, people might be recognizing your name as they listen to this podcast and go, well, I knew he did sports in town, but have I been seeing him on Dakota News Now? Well, yes, you have. And you're there a couple of days a week, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that seems to be going well for you. And what's nice about it, at least...
Does it?
Yes.
I mean, tell me from your perspective.
From my perspective, I think you're doing a bang-up job.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, and I'm glad they finally got you into the promos and so forth, too, and showing you that you are a reporter. But what's nice about it is the fact that...
Certified.
Yeah.
If you're on the promos, you're somewhat certified. They actually were going to have me on one earlier when I had been there for like a month or a month and a half, and I actually was kind of like, come on, I just got here. Don't, it's... kind of a disservice to
at least they didn't have to have you do the
who work here full time.
New person. Well, I grew up in such and such. Yeah, you didn't have to have that bullshit done, did you?
Thank God.
But I've been intrigued because you are able to handle the tough news assignments. You can do hard news, but by the same token, my God, what a great gig for you. You get to go have one of your favorite drinks, an old-fashioned, and make it into a TV spot.
Nothing has topped this since. It's been all downhill since the old-fashioned feature. That was one of my first. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was my idea. I couldn't believe it worked. I think... I don't know. I was having old fashions with you at the Carpenter Bar somewhere around this time. I don't remember when it was, but I just we're supposed to come up with some of our own story ideas, which sometimes turn into story ideas for other reporters, and that's fine. It's a collective think tank. We got like 18 hours of newscasts a day there, so you need plenty of 3 different channels, need plenty of content, and I mean I knew my news director, Kevin King, is a pretty with it guy, and I've drank old fashions with him before, so I figured maybe he'd give me a chance, and that was a lot of fun.
So what you're saying is there's a chance?
Yeah. What's the line?
No, that come. Oh,
are you talking about are you doing Dumb and Dumber here? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because actually she says one in a million. Then so what you're saying is there's a chance.
Yes. Yeah. It was a great day. And I got to drink on the job. I mean, I've gotten to do that on both of my jobs. Because Harry.
True.
Harry Canary comes out in the 7th inning at Canaries games, and Yeah, I feel pretty now they put it in this perspective, I feel pretty fortunate. But that's one of the only 3 times I've gotten to drink in a piece that I've done on Dakota News Now. But I'm not the only one. I mean, we've got.
But you've been there how long? And you've had 3 pieces you've been able to drink it.
Yeah. There's another one where beer was involved, I think, at a restaurant of some sort. And actually, I didn't. This is what's fun about the job, and I appreciate the compliments. And we were at a rummage sale. There was the big it was the Kingswood
yes.
rummage sale. They sent me out to cover that, and no real instructions, just go do it. I went out there. I found one of the organizers of the event. He had his own yard sale. And, this was an interesting piece to me, because what isn't interesting about a rummage sale? What trash will be another man's treasure, right? And what kind of depths of the earth will people go to get rid of? And who will they
the opposite too.
And who will actually buy this crap? I think it's entertaining for the people that do these. Like, I just can't wait to see who's going to buy this crap. And that's actually what they told me. It's like, that's the most fun part of it, is to actually see something they thought would never get sold. And the items that I bought there were 2 of them. Within 30 seconds, this Red Dog beer mug caught my eye. Do you remember Red Dog beer?
I do.
I haven't seen it or known about it in 20 years, but I drank it in college, and one of my college roommates had a Red Dog sign they must have stole from somewhere, and I had that Red Dog sign all through my 20s, wherever I stole it from him, and I had it in wherever I lived, wherever I went, until I got married. And of course, that was, I married someone with style, and so it's somebody else probably.
And your husband is here tonight.
Yeah,
and he and my wife now are down in the actual bar part of the Firefly Oasis.
2 people who can't stand goobers on a microphone. Drinking Jasper Newtons. Anyway, point is, I saw Red Dog beer mug, and that instantly became the story. I'm like, I'm that fool that bought something this guy didn't think he'd sell, because he said it's like the 3rd year he's had that Red Dog beer mug out there, and it's only the 3rd year because it's probably stowed away somewhere. But it resonated with me. This brought me back. It instantly brought me back to college. Some of the best, most fun years of my life, drinking Red Dog beer. So of course I had to get it. And then there was a nearby table.
Mine was Buckhorn.
Buckhorn? Okay. Yeah. Any other Buckhorn? What was that? Was that a lager? Was that a Pilsner?
I don't know. It was cheap beer. It was,
right.
It was $5 a case.
I like the name Buckhorn. You could do a lot with that one. You can do a lot with that special genre of films.
Is that a noun or is that a verb?
Hey-o! And then there's a Budweiser glass. There was an old Budweiser logoed glass. The podcast that I do, Nobody's Listening Anyway, with my best friend, one of my best friends, shouldn't give him that much credit, Matt Zimmer. It's a sports podcast. All he drinks is Budweiser. That's all he drinks. Yeah. And he drinks it during our podcasts. And so tomorrow when we go and tape the podcast, I'm going to present this. I forgot to do it last week. But so anyway, that was the story. I became one of those fools, and I selfishly kind of inserted myself into that story. But but
that was part of the story.
Sure.
I
didn't know it was part until I showed up.
Until it happened.
I was there to cover the people there. And then I became one of the people there. I'm like, I got hooked on some, but it was like $5. And by the way, that Red Dog beer mug will probably never see the light of day. It's going to be something that I might try to sell at a rummage sale somewhere down the line. But so doing stuff like that is a fun part of the job. And what I like about it is mostly it's not being on TV. Maybe when I was we're all kind of vain, okay? Yeah. We've both been in radio.
Anybody in the media, you may say you don't have an ego.
Oh,
you have to have something of an ego to do the job.
Yes. I mean, maybe there's a part of you that was like, I miss being on the radio, and I want to have a microphone.
That's why I wanted to have a podcast.
So I'm doing the same thing. Yeah. I got kicked off of the radio, and I lost my job
twice here.
I did. I thought it was just you did. Congratulations.
Let go of twice, both buildings.
Yeah, and so of course, I do the same thing. Anyway, the TV thing, sure. It was I don't need to tell a story about how it happened, but it wasn't like I was banging on the door to be on TV. I did it. It was the first part of my career for a couple of years, and then I discovered I liked radio a lot better. Always kind of did. And but I got an opportunity to do it. What I've liked about it is not, hey, I'm on TV again, or I'm on TV, period. It's and this is going to sound like I'm running for Congress, but or mayor, but hear me out. It really is connecting with people in the community. Yeah. When I did a sports talk show, I'm connecting people in the sports community, sure, here and in the Twin Cities and in other places, over the phone on a radio show, and I really enjoyed that job. And but here you're getting out there, and you're right. I've enjoyed any story involving diversity. I went to my first post Ramadan ceremony, the Eid al-Fitr, the end of Ramadan, the end of the Muslim fast. I learned more about Muslim culture than I had in my whole life. I mean, as far as I recall. And to meet people, affordable housing, huge issue in town. There's been so many where I'm meeting people who either need help or are helping. And then, as you mentioned, I've gotten to do the goofy old-fashioned and rummage sales, gardening. I mean, I thought that sounds lame or boring, right? You got to do. It's been a crappy winter, and plants aren't ready, and these nurseries and Lewis Drugs plant
Trees
thing
are a
isn't
month
ready.
behind,
and I never get these. Not anymore. Do I ever get these assignments and go, oh God, that's going to be awful. I know I'm going to learn something in all of these. The gardening story, I got to go to Oak Creek Nursery and spend a couple hours there. It's it's a great getaway from real life. It's pleasant. It's zen. It's a garden. It's colorful. It's art. I got to hang out there and talk to one of the people that runs the place. Boy, she seemed like the happiest, most sane, calm, relaxed person on earth, probably because she's been working in a nursery for 20 years. So I really enjoy doing it.
All right, fantastic. Yeah. Well, it's hard to imagine, but we are out of time.
I understand. Thank you.
So now, let's hear it.
Okay. It's I don't.
Is this an early draft or
no? I literally thought of it on the way over here.
Okay, well that's even better. And I love those.
I'm glad we saved this till the end, because if anybody heard this at the start, then they would really just that's the end of the podcast, folks. Nothing else to listen to here.
So, ladies and gentlemen, hang on.
Got to snap your fingers here. Thank you.
Let's give it a good intro. For the first time, the world premiere from John Gaskins of the Firefly Oasis theme song.
Okay, we gotta snap our fingers.
Are we both?
It's kind of a 50s swing thing. So,
all right.
Okay. The Firefly, the Firefly, the Firefly Oasis, the Firefly, the Firefly, the Firefly Oasis. Ooh, and then the first verse starts, but I don't have that yet.
Okay,
that's it. We're just off.
It's a work in progress.
Okay, yeah.
All right, it's excellent. I love it.
You sure?
The Firefly.
The Firefly, the Firefly Oasis.
I got it.
Yeah.
We can work with
probably
it.
Do some,
we'll mix it.
Probably do some sort of a song about where you go to.
We'll go out and see Mark Dahm out at the warehouse studio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to go out there into the Firefly Oasis and enjoy it.
Yes, we are.
And so maybe we'll have more inspiration. But yeah,
we will.
It's basically, you listen. Maybe you can take the baton here from what I'm about to ask you. What is the nature of the Firefly Oasis?
Welcome, friends.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we want people to just, it's our side yard. It's our 3-season room combo.
Yeah.
Between those two things, that's what the Firefly Oasis is. My best part was we actually do have coasters, professionally made for it. And
it's serious.
2 years ago, I think it was, we had breakfast down there one Sunday morning. Carrie made this beautiful breakfast layout and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
And I have the Firefly Oasis coaster on there. Blurred out in the photo, though, the actual address.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, some friends were going, hey, where's this place at? That looks great. Yeah, but we typically have a nice 4th of July party. And so we're looking forward to that.
I did not know that.
Well, that's because the past 3 years, it hasn't been much between either massive heat like last year or pandemic for 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, what it is to me is everything you just said, but it's it's just a comfortable getaway.
Yeah, that it is.
It's a comfortable getaway from not that real life is awful, but it's a nice retreat for friends with the great Dave Hawley. Congratulations, by the way, because this is the first time I have appeared since your big party.
True.
For what was it, 200 episodes?
No, 100 episodes in second year, and this will now be episode number 129.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know for maybe, I don't know if you've ever talked about it on the podcast, but what did it mean to you to do 100 episodes of this?
Oh, it was huge. Carrie only thought it would go 3. She thought it was just going to be this little hobby thing, and so forth, and he'll tire of it. But I had, we talked a little bit there about that wanting to get back on the radio, and so forth, knowing that I can't, and to be honest, not necessarily even liking the current state of radio. To whether I would want to be.
Look, I might want a radio job soon, so I'm not going to knock it, but I know where you're coming from.
So then I sat there and it's just like, I want to talk to people again. My passion is talking to other people about their passions. And so the 100th episode, that was huge. When I started it, I said, here's the deal. I'm hoping it's weekly, but with all the stuff I've been through in the past 8 to 10 years that have gone on, with some serious surgeries and different things, life can throw a big curveball at you.
Yep.
And so I'm not going to promise anything. I definitely hope I can do it every week, though.
Yeah.
And then it just started to roll. I've only missed, I do take the last 2 Thursdays of the year off now just because of the holidays. But otherwise, I only missed 2 other episodes because of COVID.
It's pretty amazing, Dave.
Yeah, one
it
simply
really is.
because
it's a commitment.
everybody had shut it down. And then another time just simply because people just weren't feeling it and so forth. And so to hit 100 was great. And I had also kind of, when I started labeling them, when I would put them into the computer, I was hoping that I could hit 100 because I started with 001, not just number 1 and 2. I wanted them to be able to continue.
I love it.
Continuously. And so when I was able to go from 99 to 100, it's like we were thinking of that the whole time, and we got it finally. And that also happened to be the 2nd year anniversary of the show was episode number 100.
Fantastic.
So. Yeah. Well, I thank you for that.
Well, no, I mean it's just a really cool thing. I don't even remember how we met and how we got going a couple of years ago. Do you? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's really cool what you're doing. Thank you for that. Not just for me, but for any other musician and entertainer who gets to use this as a platform for themselves. Or to find out that we need entertainers out at the Birdcage.
Exactly.
Entertainers and musicians before the games if you want to play out there in our beer garden. But, and for people to do gratuitous advertisements for their business. But it's, I don't know. It's just, and it, frankly, it was inspirational to me as well, because once I lost my radio job, immediately, a few people are going to do a podcast, like every other soul on earth. But a lot of podcasts crash and burned, and mainly because people just kind of lose, the people doing it kind of lose interest and just, I don't know why. But you doing this was an inspiration to me. You helped me launch my own podcast with the equipment, and you were there opening night. So thank you for your friendship and for the opportunities to do all of this. Yeah. And the best part about it is not to do these podcasts, but to get together at the Firefly Oasis. What'd you think of Come From Away?
My God.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing show.
Yeah.
And, it was one of those that we weren't going to go to it. Tickets started at a pretty high level already.
They did.
And so forth. And then on Sunday morning, as we're watching Willie Geist and then CBS this morning, that's our normal routine while we're drinking our coffee. Carrie's on Facebook and says, the last show tonight tickets are $45.
What?
Yeah, so we grabbed those because we had wanted to, but we always support the local productions first.
Mm-hmm.
And if we have any budget left over, then we can go to a show, a Broadway
every
or a
night,
tour.
Every
and so
night
forth.
there's a photo of you and Carrie at a play.
Yeah.
Or a concert.
Well, it was funny because last night we ended up running into some friends of ours, and then when we get into the theater and sit, we're seated next to them. And one of them had his father along with him, and his dad looks at me, and we're starting to talk about different things and being at the pavilion. And I said, we don't necessarily get to these that often because we're normally out supporting local arts. And Merritt, who is somebody that Carrie had worked with in the past and I had been involved with in the Shrine, and I said, just like, this past week, we were at a couple of events. And he says, you were at more than that. Because he'd been seeing all the social posts and so forth. But in fact, when we get down into the Firefly Oasis, you will see a couple of new pieces of art that we picked up at an art benefit on Friday night. Saturday night, we went to USF for their play. And then Sunday night, then we were at... Come From Away. That just blew me away.
Before we get to Come From Away, that's what's even more inspirational about you, that's inspired me and Gilbert, and I'm not kidding, is obviously just getting to know you. I'm aware of your love of the arts. This is why you do the podcast, but you actually show it by showing up to these things.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm guessing you do that out of enjoyment.
Very much.
Let's get out of the house, no matter what the weather is, in crappy weather, South Dakota, and you conveniently live close to a lot of these venues, downtown, midtown, but you're there. Yeah. And
speaking of midtown, I was in that on Thursday night.
That's right. So, you've kind of inspired Gilbert and I, I'm not kidding, to go to more of these things as well. Absolutely. Yeah. But, Come From Away, we did not get lucky enough to just wait for tickets to drop to $45. We had a night where we could go, and we hadn't gotten our tickets yet, and it was triple digits, my friend, and we don't love spending triple digits on
nobody does,
hardly anything, but boy, are we glad we did.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to say because the ship has sailed literally from that play. But if it ever comes back, or if you ever get a chance, the story and
it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That's I've been at a lot of standing ovations in that building.
Mm-hmm.
And that one was the loudest.
Yeah.
I experienced recently a very loud one at the Orpheum for a DAPA show for the kids, because lots of grandparents, parents, and so forth, and they had done a phenomenal job as well. But in terms of a national touring show, that's the loudest I've ever heard, and perhaps one of the longest as well.
You know what else it was? It was immediate.
Yeah.
Sometimes starting ovations get going because a few people get up, and then the people around them go, should we stand up too? Well, I don't want to be a jerk, so I'll stand up.
Everybody
this was like Jack in the Box, everybody. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Should we go drink with our mates?
It's probably a good idea.
Plus we have pizza, too.
If we went to live with them. Fortunately, you kept the pizza in the oven, so.
All right, it'll be warm.
Hey, home opener Friday, May 20th, 50 parties, sfcanaries.com.
Looking forward to it.
Sioux Falls Canaries Media. It's an event, it's a party, and not only do we have musicians, actors, fun, food to entertain people, but we want you to do it as well. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks.
Looking forward to it. John Gaskins, thank you so much. We will be back to wrap up the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
From the Firefly Oasis.
Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony provide professional care for your hands and feet, whether you just want the basics or an extra special look with added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails. Call for an appointment. 605-334-1463.
From the Dipsy Doodle Studios at the world headquarters of Big D Entertainment, a 40-square-foot home studio in the middle of America, it's Dave Holly.
Thanks, John Gaskins, for being a great guest as always. And you've retained that lead. We're going to have to get Elizabeth Hunset on again soon, see if she can get tied up with him. Thank you for listening, downloading, streaming, sharing, following. It is all greatly appreciated. So what's coming up this weekend for the Holly household? Well, tonight we're taking in the premiere Playhouse production of Cabaret. Friday night, that ruggedly handsome trivia host returns to the sky in T for Doctors Trivia. Then Saturday night, it's off to the Red Rock and Rowena for Crazy Frank Karaoke. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Get all 129 episodes online at DaveHollyHour.com. As Arts South Dakota says, home is where the art is. Now, I had been saying, you can't have heart without art. I'm changing that. So as I now say, your heart needs art. Remember, I'm Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
The Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by the Sky Lounge and Tea, XL Chiropractic, Quality Nails, Ale Hop Brewery Tours, and Jesse Moffett Entertainment. If you would like to contribute to the continued success of this podcast, go to DaveHollyHour.com. At the bottom of the front page is the additional links section. Click on the orange button, Dave Holly on Linktree. You can order merchandise, become a Dave Holly Hour VIP, and make contributions to the show. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.